All right, welcome back. 32 boys, 1 cup. This is the wild card group. It's the last group. And while we got all this group stuff to go through, guys, I want to remind you, Zombie Group and I will be drawing the round of 16 at the end of the series today, at the end of this group. So we'll do that live on stream, and make sure you stick around if you really want to see it. But we're in the winners match and spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, playing for Axiom. It's going to be none other than the red Terran player CranK.
Never left as the blue Zerg player, Samsung Galaxy Solar.
All right, I think the crowd favoritism is definitely going to land Solar for this one. I believe in CranK because I know he's got cool tactics, but the problem is tactics don't make up for I don't know. I'm not gonna say lack of skill. That's not true at all. But like mechanics, I guess, because Solar's just got everything going for him. Like he's such a smart guy when it comes to tactics. His mechanics are absolutely sound. You rarely see this guy mess up on anything. I mean, CranK's gonna have to play like either super cheesy or like a god to take him down.
Yeah, and I think also a big thing is that Solar has a lot of confidence for the most part.
Yeah, CranK's definitely been a little bit modest and shaky, I'd say sometimes.
A little bit.
Like, I don't think CranK comes to the series, he's like, oh, I got zero chance, I'm not even going to try. But, you know, he wins the Elima League and he celebrates it really hardcore, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's well, it's going to be cannons, actually.
Yeah, but Solar checks. Good man he is. Good player, good player.
You know, this placement's kind of dirty. You can lock a cannon in here if done correctly. Yep. Nice moves out of CranK.
He's got the moves.
So this is, of course, a little bit irritating because there's a lot of dancing you're going to have to do around this. But for Solar, it's going to be a while before you can actually kill everything here. CranK may cancel that second pylon. Yeah, there you go. Because he wants to get out here and throw another cannon down. The surface area is not enough. One drone will take too long to kill this cannon. He's going to start putting more down. So, you know, it's funny. We saw CranK, where did we see CranK recently? He failed doing this somewhere. Was it the first qualifier? No.
Yes, it was. It was the wildcard qualifier.
Right, versus Cham the first time, right?
Right, like he failed miserably against one player and then played really well against another.
Yeah, I was trying to remember like it wasn't the first. It wasn't the first qualifier. Because remember he got knocked out by Bales, right. I think, or something crazy. We didn't even get to cast that. So must have been the second time around. Either way, so he delays the natural. If he can get over there to the third and get a cancel, he pretty much wins the game. But I don't think that's going to be the case with the Lings on the way.
So, in the end, it wasn't a big investment from CranK. I mean, he did delay everything for a long time, but he canceled most of what was unnecessary.
I've never seen someone do this before.
Did
I say Terran for CranK? Oh, man, Protoss. Sorry, guys. My brain's all juiced out.
In the intro, really?
Yeah, apparently. And you didn't catch me either.
I know.
I know you're not doing much better. You would have jumped on that.
You know why? Because I was eating my delicious red velvet cake that my mom got me.
Man... You know what I'm gonna do after this? I'm gonna make like a stupid little 69-cent pack of Mr. Noodles. I'm gonna go sleep. So I can wake up in time to eat like my $3 like oatmeal, so we can cast against the odds.
A much sadder story. Okay, I thought you were gonna go about how you're gonna make a little like mom doll, you know, like a paper doll, and you're gonna be like, "Hey mom, how you doing?" And mom's gonna be like, "Hey sweetie, I made you a ramen noodle."
Oh man!
And you'd be like, "I'm loved," and then you'd cry.
What? Why are you like this? Who made you this way?
That's a good question. My mom?
Your mom. Stargate follow-up to this from CranK. I actually don't mind this so much, but again, it's this weird base from Solar that I'm really questioning here. He's going to get away with this for a little bit, of course, but this is so exposed.
Yeah. And it actually has kind of a problem not being exposed, just like, you know, closer to being CranK's base, but of course farther away from any creep spread. The creep actually have to come from his third.
I was actually wondering if there's a faster way to get oracles to Zerg base, and well, here's your answer. It's slightly closer.
Unless they proxy hatch, that's the fastest way, I guess.
Okay, let's see how much he gets away with this. This is probably gonna be. Oh, I was gonna say oracles, but Phoenix is out of CranK. I like this. I really like the way Phoenixes lead to the way this matchup goes. It becomes a lot less about guesswork and more about positioning mechanics. And again, we're still going to give us a little bit of an edge. And I know CranK fans are going to hate me for saying that. And you're really Solar biased, blah blah blah. But the thing is that a CranK, like, while I believe in him, and like my heart definitely, like, you know, heart crank head Solar scenario, it's still gonna take a lot to beat someone like Solar. Solar's like, he's not the best Zerg player in the world by any means, but he's really high up there.
Yeah. I guess CranK, is he gonna do anything besides open Phoenixes? Is gonna be a little bit tricky.
What?
One thing you usually do, just called Overlord, against a player that you maybe not as confident against, is that you do go for all-ins, aggressive moves, secrets, you know, and stuff like that.
I was really hoping he was gonna go like, you know, 6 gates after that. I mean, like, he's got the 2 pylons right in the heart of Solar's like 3 bases.
The problem is that, well,
I was getting 4 gates, 5 gates? No, Robo, never mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, he could apply aggression if he saw an opportunity, which he has a probe with a kind of proxy pylon, so he could. And I feel like it'd be really effective too, because Solar did not get a Roche Warren. Like 4 zealots at a time. He surprised their 3rd. They get in a good position. Yeah. Lings aren't going to do a lot.
Well, there's the wall and sick wall out of CranK to hold those Lings in place. That was actually a big deal.
I totally forgot this is here. Yeah, why didn't he go for an all-in off of this? Either way, these zealots coming in like this against Lings, if they can get a decent position anywhere, up against a wall, up against the mineral line, they will just do so much. No, don't chase them. Go to the mineral line. Yeah.
Oh, he's almost gonna kill Queen over here. Just need to pick it up once again. Mineral line not quite secure with positioning. If he got actually into the mineral line, this would have been perfect, of course. But still, this many zealots is gonna be hard to deal with. And CranK, you know, this is as weird as it's considered. Like, not really like 4 gate all in, more like 4 gate just heavy zealot pressure. Link's gonna try and come kill for that cannon, but he'll do the exact same trick again, I think. That warp in, that was such a sick move.
Oh, as long as it's up here, why not? Looks like it will be finally taken down. It takes out a lot of Lings with it, though.
Yeah, the surface here to connect to this. I really think he could have saved this with a warp in. I'm shocked he didn't.
Well, he wanted to get his 3rd up, and he actually is not the one banking a lot of money. Solar is.
Yeah, Solar's also in the hole quite a few resources after these attacks. But 3rd base, got the cannons, got the force fields, so CranK can hold really well here. I gotta credit where credit's due. Like, CranK's opening this game has been fantastic so far, but whether he can follow it up is gonna be another can of worms. Solar's got the infestation pit on the way. He's not someone who's shy and going fungal growth, so if he's worried about dealing with these Phoenixes, he's gonna catch them.
Yeah. I think they should pick Anaspire with double upgraded Lings. I do wonder. Fungal Growths, Mutas, Swarm Hosts. All options are open.
Yeah. I'm kind of I mean, okay, here's the thing I'm a little worried. CranK's controlling these Phoenixes really well. That shouldn't be like, well, I'm worried he's controlling them so well. It takes his attention away from everywhere else on the map, so it's a lot of Lings poised between his natural on 3rd, and he's going to have some pretty darn good reaction time here with that Photon Overcharge if he wants to minimize damage.
Well, everything's holed up in the natural. The 3rd does have the force fields here. Yeah, don't even really try. Just baits out 1 force field. Finally clears up this other proxy pylon, of course, wasn't used. And we still don't have the Spire just not finished. So now is the time where he's going to choose. What is he going to do? If he goes for Mutas, I mean, obviously CranK has Phoenixes.
This Overlord harass is kind of insane. Solar has to spend so much money on Overlords right now.
And these uncorrupt his first into Mutas.
I mean, that's 800 minerals in the hole so far. It's not too bad.
No, he's not playing bad at all. I mean, his economy's pretty great. His opponent got a very safe 4th, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, the Corruptors are coming out for the Phoenixes, but they will work out here pretty nicely for the Colossus as well.
Yeah, but I gotta figure out Mutas are on the way too. Like, you're not gonna go Ling Corruptor, are you? Is that a thing? I don't know if it's a good thing.
Well,
but so far, that is the...
Yeah, he's investing into it, so I mean, with the upgrades coming, he's gonna put a little bit more than just Corruptors into this. So for CranK, it's actually really important he keeps these alive, because now he's actually going to need them a little bit later on. Like, these have been great harass tools, and he's certainly got his money's worth out of them, but he's going to just straight up need them in probably 5-10 minutes.
He saw the Spire, but he also saw everything else, right? So it's kind of like, you know, what is my opponent doing? I really need to wait and see. Now, he sees the Corruptors, but there's actually a massive amount of Lings, so these Phoenixes need to actually attack the Corruptors, so they stop attacking the Colossus, but Warp-ins of Zealots, Sentries with Force Fields. I don't know if these Lings are going to be enough.
It's insane to consider because how many of them there are here. But you're right, he pushes it back.
Yeah, and he really doesn't get a lot of the important units. Like, killing Colossus are always good, but, like, you wanted to kill, I guess, like, you know, Stalkers, Sentries, stuff that's going to help defend against the
Mutas
specifically.
Them,
and I think Crank's figured out what's going on after that Ling attack.
I don't know, if he's really dedicated, I think we would have seen the extra Stargate in the Alien Pulse Crystals.
Well, he's getting cannons, so why would you get cannons?
I guess, yeah. I don't know, this is just odd. Cannons help.
It's not that... Well, it's not that you need Phoenix with the
well,
range. Whoops. Oops. You can still have the Lings for it, though.
Yeah, I guess if you clean up every single Ling, it's worth one Colossus.
I think so. I mean, that's the other counterattack potential, but the mutas do get in the natural. The cannons help out just a little bit. They buy us some time.
Needs to get that photon overcharge down, though. The problem is where you put it, like main natural, it's going to get folks down either way. Does manage to overcharge, what, the natural twice, I guess? Okay, he saw the energy of the militia before it died. I was like, where did it go?
I was wondering about that too, but I guess it's like 5 extra seconds, maybe. Oh, I like that Crank is actually pushing out here. So I was going to talk about how you don't necessarily need Phoenixes, but if you're going to draw out the game, it's going to become increasingly difficult to actually deal with mutas. But if you try and attack while their army count is low, it might work out.
He flies this back into the Corruptors. That was a small mistake, I feel. Should be focusing on the mutas, if anything. But Sentry is actually doing some surprising DPS while he's waiting for the Stalkers to get up here. The scary thing for Crank, though, he's coming out here without a lot of reinforcement potential. There's no Warp Prism with this. There's no pylons nearby. There's no recall either. I mean, that's kind of the key thing here. So, kind of accidentally becomes all or nothing.
Yeah, no Guardian Shield at all. The Blink Stalkers, I don't know if they're plentiful enough. With 36 more Lings on the way and 6 more mutas.
If they would just take out the last 2 Corruptors, the last Corruptor, the Phoenixes would become more viable again, but not investing in this at all. Gonna take down this 4th, 3rd, however you want to look at it. Weird natural opening to this game, but you're right. The muta count might just be a little too high. Blink is actually not too bad, but there's Lings on top of this, and the Zealots were busy shooting a hatchery instead of swinging at these Lings.
Reinforcements, though. Reinforcements, maybe, especially if he spreads out just a little bit more of that Blink.
Yeah, muta count's starting to dwindle. Just drop 3, 4. I think the Stalker's gonna die out.
Few more. He does have a proxy pylon finally being morphed in here, but yeah, Crank. Oh, that was almost a great move.
It's weird too because the snowball effect for mutas is pretty real. Like you gotta consider how many of these are low. Like that could have gone a lot better for Crank. Again, like had he had what we want to say like 3, 6 Stalkers more
from the very beginning.
Not only that, but like if the Zealots were like guarding the Stalkers instead of attacking the hatchery, the Lings would never have been on top of them. They might not have died as quickly. There's a lot of what ifs here, and sadly we can't do like a recover game, take command for these players. But even as he pushes, I mean, Crank's supply is just in the gutter. It's
yeah, it is. It's this is the ball. Like if they had to get completely watch each other out, like no mutas versus no Stalkers, yeah, okay, maybe he comes back. But Solar had like 15 left over and a lot more on the way.
Solar takes game number 1 in this best of 3.